Okay, we're picking up the action with just under 2 minutes to go in the pre-start. We've got South Florida in boat number 2. Did a great job escaping from the clutches of Georgetown and the dial-up. Now the boats are neutral. In other words, neither boat's controlling the other boat as they come into the playground, which is the area to the right of the committee boat. With about 1 minute and 20 to go, the next thing we'll probably see is boat number 3 will jibe around and stay on starboard, and we'll see if boat 2 wants to jump them and take the lead, which they are doing. So South Florida brings the boat down in front of Georgetown to take the lead back with about 1 minute to go. It's setting up then that Georgetown will get the right. And we saw in the last start with St. Mary's in BC, the boat on the right had the advantage. I think there's a little better breeze on the right and there's less adverse current. So Georgetown happy to take the right here. South Florida is trying to come up and close the door here, close the gauge between the boats with about 30 some odd seconds to go. But right now it'll either be both boats starting on starboard with Georgetown on the right and then tacking, or Georgetown tacking before the gun, which is in about 20 seconds, and a split start. Either way, Georgetown will have the right and South Florida will have the left. Here we go. Coming into about 10 seconds to go. So I expect to see Georgetown tacking soon after the start. So a pretty classic start right there, close to leeward for South Florida. It's actually a pretty strong start for them. And I think my opinion is Georgetown may have waited a little long to get out of there because I saw South Florida starting to go faster. Now, interesting move right here. South Florida matched the tack. In other words, when Georgetown tacked, they tacked. The risk there is that there isn't much separation between the boats. Now, Georgetown has bow out. And so often in sailing, you'll see that the bow out, it actually bends the wind a little bit, and it makes it harder for that windward boat to live, especially in lighter wind. So we'll see if South Florida can live up to windward of Georgetown on this long port tack. All right, we're picking up the action in race number 2 of the 2014 Intercollegiate National Match Racing Championship. In the first race of the finals, Georgetown won over University of South Florida. But in the second race, it's the University of South Florida that has a commanding lead, 10 lengths, coming down the first run in a double windward leeward race course. It all got set up at the start where Georgetown wanted the right, but instead of tacking before the gun and getting a split start, they chose to start on the hip of South Florida on the same tack. When Georgetown tacked to port, Chris Stockey from University of South Florida matched the tack to windward. And when Georgetown tacked back to starboard, South Florida tacked directly in front of them, forcing Georgetown to go back down speed. South Florida extended to the left and picked up a bunch more pressure and a shift and jumped out to about a 5-length lead, crossed over on port, sailed for about 1.5 minutes, picked up another big puff and a righty, and doubled the lead to 10 or more lengths. So that's the story of the race so far. The start and the tactics right off the line have created a huge lead for South Florida to go down the first run. All right, we have just learned that the lead boat, University of South Florida, has a penalty. They got the penalty as they were rounding the windward mark, I should say 10 lengths ahead. The spinnaker went up so fast that it actually hit the mark, and the umpire saw it and have given them a penalty. So University of South Florida has the lead, but they also have a penalty kill. It turns out you need about 4 boat lengths lead to do your penalty and stay ahead. And right now I think they're more like a 10-length lead. So the penalty really should not be an issue at this point. But they do need to be careful not to let Georgetown cut this lead in half, get to like 5 lengths or so, because 5 lengths can turn into 4 lengths pretty quick, and suddenly it's a very close race. So Georgetown gets a little glimmer of hope here. Their goal right now is to sail fast around the track. Forget the other boat. Just do whatever it takes to get around the race course as quickly as possible, which means good boat handling at the corner here. And their teamwork is very good. So we'll watch them go around the corner here. Nevin choosing to not do the jibe around the right-hand mark, which is a slower maneuver, so he's doing the quicker maneuver. And then upwind, they just have to be really patient, sail the shift, sail the pressure, forget the other boat, try and cut this lead in half and put some pressure on South Florida. South Florida, boat number 2, has about a 15 to 20 length lead right now. They owe a penalty, but the penalty is just to jibe and come up close hauled on the other attack. It's a 270-degree turn. It only costs you about 3 lengths. In fact, there he goes right now. So for filming number 3, he's taking his penalty. There's his jibe. He comes up to close hauled. His penalty is done. Umpires have put the flag down. Quick and painless. So he is bow forward, way ahead, looks in solid shape to win the second race and to tie up the finals 1-1 in a 1st to 3 championship finals.